After I familiarized myself with your work, I read Hitler's Table Talk, which is a collection of...
What is that?
It's a collection of his spontaneous utterances over dinner time, collected by his secretaries across about 4 years.
Oh, fascinating.
Yes, it's fascinating. And what's really fascinating is how much of it's about disgust.
Oh, wow.
God, it's just unbelievable, because his propaganda process...
cockroaches, rats.
You bet.
Yeah.
Well, and
so much disgust.
You may know this and you may not, that Zyklon was originally used as an insecticide in factories. They cleaned up the factories. The Nazis cleaned up the factories first, then the mental hospitals. Then they broadened out, and it was Zyklon B, I believe, to begin with, and then Zyklon A. And so there is a disgust story there that's unbelievably strong. And the thing about things that are disgusting, if you're afraid of them, you want to get away from them.
Yeah.
If they're disgusting, you want to destroy them.
Well, you want to withdraw from them.
Yes.
You want to withdraw, and you want, especially burning. Yeah.
Yes,
burning
especially
is the most satisfying way to dispose of things, because it kills.
Right,
it certainly
and
kills
it's
the
not
germs.
like the Nazis weren't enamored of the symbolism of fire.
Burning. That's right. That's right. Yeah. So I think maybe what we can say here is that let's bring in openness to experience, because if we say that openness to experience is consistently the largest trait associated with politics, as far as I know, and so people are high on openness to experience tend to be drawn to progressive or left-wing politics, and that has a very clear negative relationship with disgust. That, I think, is the strongest relationship Paul Ross and I ever found. Now, you would think that would also have some relation to anxiety, because, as you said, the negative emotions all clump together, but in this case, they don't. So maybe the neuroticism link is a red herring. Maybe what we should be focusing on is the openness to experience. So I'm assuming that Hitler was not very open to new experience, that he did not seek out a great variety of foods and curious about...
It's very complicated, because he was extraordinarily interested in aesthetic issues. He had the floor plans of most major buildings memorized, and he was planning to transform the centers of most of the cities that he conquered into artistic citadels. But remember this.
What kind of art?
He divided, that's right. Yeah. He divided art into acceptable and pathological,
that's right? So he was an artist with very conservative tastes in what was beautiful.
Yeah, so I think he was open and hyper-orderly. Hyper-orderly, because there's other examples of his orderliness and disgust sensitivity.
But are there other examples of his openness? 4 times a day. Wait a second. So you've convinced me that he's interested in aesthetics, but do you think he was open in a general way?
Well, he wanted to go to art school. He tried to get in 3 times, tried to make a living as a watercolorist.
Yeah.
So look, I'm not trying to make a case that Hitler was an artistic genius. I'm not saying that at all. He was a very complicated person. But I think the real tilt for him was maybe even the contradiction between openness and extreme orderliness. Like, he was also a worshiper of willpower, which is associated with orderliness, right? So he could stand like this, would stand like this for hours at a time, and he prided himself on that. And he bathed 4 times a day. He was also concerned. He's also very much concerned with what he ate.
Yeah.
In an orderly sort of way.
Sense, right. And contamination sensitivity.
Exactly.
And the way he saw Jews in German society is contaminating rats, cockroaches. Yeah, that is very common in genocides. The same language in Rwanda.
About pure blood all the time.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. And so there's that purity element that you've made so much of as well. It's an obsessive theme. And if you look at his table talk, you can see that, because it's spontaneous utterances, And so I was looking for fear words, anxiety words. It's like they're rare. But disgust words, man.
Fascinating.
It's just there all the time. And disgust, it's, you think about our society, we go out of our way to keep fearful things at bay. But we really go out of our way to keep disgusting things away.
Yeah, that's the hallmark of civilization and the civilizing process, right? And when people travel in, what used to be called third world countries, that was one of the striking things, is just the degree to which dead bodies or death and excrement and other things are visible parts of life. And boy, have we done a good job of hiding them in
yes, that's just
societies.
not there at all.
At all.
So right. So we don't even know how sensitive we are to disgust anymore, because almost all the elicitors have been removed.
That's right. That's right.